All right, so to start off, we're going to be using a program called Luban or Luban. If you've never used it before, essentially what it does is it takes a file and you can scale it up and then it'll make the slices for you based on your printer's dimensions. So I have an X1C and we'll be doing that with the X1C dimensions. So I take my file and I drop it, and that's what we got right there. Okay, this is in itself, I think this is about a 6-inch long file. And so what we're going to do, we're going to go up to mesh and cut. Yes. We're going to go to millimeter because we want to stay with what the printer does or has. Okay. And so that's where we're at. So I'm going to go ahead and just go to the X because I want to make him life size. And life size, he is, I believe, sorry, I'm not going to go to the X. I'm going to go to the Z because he's about 2.5 feet tall. And so we'll go to the Z here. We're going to do that in millimeters. You got to check that out in my conversions real quick. And so that's about 762 millimeters. I click enter and it sizes it up. So this is what it looks like. All these little blue boxes are the print diameters or print area, sorry, not diameters, print areas of my 3D printer. So just imagine 3D printer, 3D printer, 3D printer, 3D printer. This is how it's going to cut it. Okay. We're going to go down. It's already in there. 256, 256, 256. We're going to keep close cut, yes. Normal cut, no. Part number, yes. And so what that's going to do is it's going to list out all of the parts on the prints themselves so I won't lose track. All right, to continue, we're going to keep it so the connector's right here. You have a plug. A plug will be a solid print with the part itself. A dowel is, it has holes in both, and then you put the dowels in and it will hold it. That's what I'm going to go to because I like having a flat base to print off of. I found that really easy to do. We're going to keep it prism. We're going to do a shape of a square. We're going to do at least 3, maybe. I'm going to say at least, let's go 2. We're going to say at least 2 points of contact for each dowel to insert into the part. So each part's going to have 2 of them at least. I'm going to go 3. I'm going to go 3. Just be safe. Depth ratio, I'm going to keep the same. Size, we're going to keep the same. And then intolerance, I'm going to put to -1. We're going to click cut, and it's going to take some time. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump to it, all right? See you then. All right, so the processing is all done. Based off what your computer can do is going to depend on how much time it takes. I have a decent computer, so it didn't take too long. But these are all the individual parts. Each part is a different color. This is what it's going to look like. I'm just kind of looking around, make sure there's not really any tiny parts anywhere that I don't like. Yeah, I think that's looking good. So it's 50 parts. It's going to be, I mean, this depends, I guess. If I make it a solid chunk, if you made it a solid chunk, you'd waste a lot of filament, but it would also weigh 26 kilograms, which would be quite a bit. And then it says there's going to be the printing time of 2,933 hours. That's also incorrect. If you have faster printers, which if you have a modern printer, anything after 2020 or 2022, these printers are all very quickly, especially Bambu Labs or the K2 or a Prusa or anything like that. They're very quick. Assembly time also will vary, so I'm not really concerned about it. But this is what it looks like. I believe it's R. Nope, E. So if I expand it out into the different parts, this is what it's going to be looking like. Okay, and all those little white parts floating in, those are the dowels that will hold the parts together. So you can kind of see where we are. So if I go R, so R to bring it back in, E to expand it, but those are going to be all the parts that we have. So I'm going to go ahead and get this printing. Stay tuned. I'm going to do a couple time lapses, and then I will show you what it looks like in a second. All right, so that's the max amount of plates I can have at one time. This is 38 parts that I have right now. So as I go, I will be sure to add in more. So when I print and it's successful, I'll be sure to add in more of what I got. Some of these are actually really, really tight, and I had to kind of maneuver them in such a way that they would fit, like this one right here. I had to zoom in really, really closely, and you can see it goes from edge almost all the way the edge, and that's just barely good enough to stay in there. So that's where I am at with this. I haven't sliced it yet. I'm going to go ahead and kind of just go with probably a 16 layer height because I don't want to spend a lot of time sanding everything. And I have support settings that are kind of different. So I go tree, default, threshold angle is 20. And then I've changed some stuff here, so I saved it as my own profile. And it seems to work pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and slice all, and then we'll get right back into it when it is sliced. All right, so in all, we got all the slices done on all the plates. What it's going to cost is $121 in filament. And it's going to take about 6 days to print. I got 4 printers, and so that's going to be divided into 4. So it's not going to take too long to print. And then the filament is going to depend. So what I am thinking I'm going to do, let me find a part for you. Sure, let's go, is that one? No. Let's go with this one. Okay, so this is just a big square, and it's on the outside. What I ended up doing is I did 3 walls, and then if you go down, it's lightning infill. The reason I did that is to save filament. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a small hole and a couple holes around, honestly. But I'm going to drill some holes where you're not going to see them, and then I'm going to inject insulation foam into it. So it's just the expanding foam. I've done that a few times and actually adds some really nice strength to the print itself. And it doesn't force the shell of the print itself to bulge out or anything, and it stays relatively in great shape and just add some good strength to it without using too much filament. So that's what I'm going to do is this lightning infill. I think I put it to 50%, and then I did 3 walls. So it has a strong outer shell, and then this is all going to be infilled with expanding foam. So there you have it. I'm going to call it good for this video. This was just the slicing of Jeff the Land Shark. I'm currently 3D printing all of the parts right now, and I'll be getting this going. I'll be sure to give updates to it. The next video, I will be putting Jeff together and kind of showing you how I hide seams, things like that is what I'm going to go for, and then I'll be doing paint videos as well. So if you guys have any specific things you want to see or you have any specific questions, leave them down below in the comments. Like the video, share the video, help me build my channel. Thanks for watching. I'm Queso Builds.